Success is always associated with hard work, sincerity, and sense of purpose. But are these enough to become successful? These are necessary conditions, but not sufficient enough. From my own experience, I have seen that in addition to these three, you need some other support that comes in the form of either a blessing or God's grace or fate, or as some call it, luck. Let me tell you a little about what happened when I started my new company in Chennai named RSM Electronics, and it was just the beginning. We didn't have much of orders on hand, and we were struggling, you would say. And it was a Friday evening when I was coming from Bangalore to Chennai on a flight, and in the flight, it was a full flight more or less, and I was on one side of the aisle and there was another gentleman on the other side of the aisle, and the two center seats were vacant and the two window seats were also taken. The flight was nearly ready to take off when the last two passengers, very old couple, with a walking stick, they were coming in, and obviously they were being ushered by the hostess to sit in their seats, which were the two center seats. The gentleman on the other side of the aisle got up because he felt that those two should sit together and wanted to go to the center. But I felt that the gentleman on the other side was older to me, therefore I got up from the aisle and I offered to sit in the center and allow the two seats together to the old couple. And that's how the conversation started with the person sitting next to me. Because he felt I did a good deed, he asked me where I came from, what I did, and I could gauge that he was somebody big, but I didn't know who he was. And he just asked me, what do you do? I said, I've just started a company and we are in the field of drives, and we expect to do well. I was earlier a vice president of a large multinational company, but I left that to start on my own. And the gentleman said that, look, if you're selling drives, then my company buys a lot of drives, and probably, I could put you on to somebody in my company. I asked him which company was it, and he said Tube Products. So I told him, and he said, he asked me, have you ever been there? I said no, because my feeling is that when I go to large companies to start with, even though I have had a lot of experience, they will ask me whether you have the commercial capability, whether you have the financial capability, whether you have the technical capability to handle big jobs here. And they generally go to large companies and they don't, encourage small companies in critical areas. And therefore I never went there because, I started my company so that it can become big and I have my own set of customers to go to. And he told me, no, that's wrong. I think you should go to my company and meet them. And it was a Friday evening, therefore he said you can go there on Tuesday, because Monday I will give your visiting card to the person concerned, and if you have your card, please share it with me. I shared my card with him, and then he asked me if I can take some details and go and meet those people. I told him I will definitely do that, but I was still actually not knowing who the person next to me was and to whom I was talking to. So in a very feverish tone I asked him, sir, do I know to whom I am talking? He said, put his hand in his pocket, took out a visiting card and gave to me. It happened to me, Mr. M.V. Arunachalam, chairman of the entire Murugappa group. And I never expected that. And obviously, Tube Products was a part of that large Murugappa group. We just had a little bit of conversation in the flight, the short flight to Chennai, and therefore, we got down, and I thanked him a lot, and I told him I'll definitely meet the people concerned. And then he told me, go and meet the vice president, and he gave me the name of the vice president, and I said I will meet him. On the next Tuesday, I did go to Tube Products at Avadi, met the vice president. The vice president, of course, didn't have much to tell me. He just asked his secretary to take me to the works manager. I went to the works manager, and the works manager asked me what I do, so I gave him all the details that we do and what we can do for him. Because I came from the chairman, obviously, he could not take me off, and he said that, look, you've just started, and therefore we give, we look at large companies, and as a very important company, and we are in this business of making bicycles, and we make tubes, etc. for the bicycles and things like that, and maybe they can give us some smaller jobs when it comes, but at the moment they have a medium-sized inquiry which he will definitely give it to me. But he also told me that more or less the order was finalized on another competitor, and therefore you can make an offer and then we will see how it goes. So I took the inquiry, and we worked on it overnight with my colleagues and made the offer to them. It was for a drive for a slitting line for their machines. So the offer was made, and then they said that, look, you made your offer, we'll get back to you in a couple of days. I came back, and then I wrote a mail to the chairman. I thanked him a lot for allowing me to meet his people, and then I got an inquiry, and if I am given an opportunity to serve, I will definitely do a good job. And that was left at that. And then about nearly 4 or 5 days passed and we heard nothing. And then suddenly, we got a call from Two Products. One of the managers there rang up and said, did you write to our chairman? I said, I did. And I was a little apprehensive whether, what the chairman would have told them, and that I had disturbed him or whatever. But actually he said, come over, we want to discuss. So I went back to the factory, and there, of course, we discussed, and he said that, look, we would need more details of your offer, we would like to discuss it further, because the chairman has said that if all opportunities are, if all other specifications, everything is common, then probably we could consider you. So, we gave them all the details, and as luck would have it, we got the job, and that job we would never have got if I had not met the chairman on that Friday evening. We commissioned the project, the slitting line, and it was working very fine. And within a couple of weeks, there was another inquiry for a cold rolling mill. It was a large offer. They called me again, and they gave us the inquiry for the cold rolling mill, and again warned us that this is a pretty big job, and therefore we may not be able to consider you favorably for this. But however, when we make an offer, we will see what can happen. We made the offer, we had some technical discussions, a couple of technical discussions, and then we heard nothing. And then we were told that actually we may not get the job, and that they have more or less finalized on a large multinational company who had been supplying to them for a long time. Again, suddenly 2 days later, I got a call again from the works manager, and he said that, come over, because, we made the order of, for a multinational company. We went to the board, and in the board, the chairman said that, look, last time, I had recommended some person, and, you had given the job, it seems, and, how is it working? Is it working well? And obviously they said it is working well, and the chairman told him that, why are you not considering them? He said, no, they are a pretty small company, they may not have the financial strength to handle the project. So the chairman asked him that, do you think technically they are capable of handling? The person said, yes, technically they are capable, but I don't think they have the financial background. So then the chairman said that, why don't you call them, ask them if their banker will help and whether they can do the job. He called us, we met him, the works manager, and we talked to the bank was willing to help us, and you'll be surprised that at the end of the process, the order was placed on us because the chairman put faith on us. And we did that job, and that job was also done pretty well. And since then, my company, by that time, we had already joined up with another company called Control Techniques. We had a joint venture with them. And Control Techniques never looked back since then. And practically till I sold all my shares to Control Techniques in the year 2008, from 1993 when this incident happened, For 15 years we had been supplying to Control Techniques, two products from Control Techniques with absolutely no break. So, you can realize that how meeting the right person at the right time did the trick for me. But however, I would never have met that person or had the opportunity to talk to him if not for those two elderly people who came in at the last minute to be, to sit on the two center rows, but got to sit together because of my going to the middle seat. So you can see they came in the form of God, or whatever you may call, luck, fate, but that was it, that happened. And therefore I believe success is a function of not only hard work, sincerity, but also that little bit of luck or little bit of blessings that you get from somebody. Thank you.